Hi guys, it is Dory. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I feel like it has been forever since I have had some sort of an update. If you hear any buzzing, it is my handy dandy little heater right here. It's not like it's freezing outside, but to me, and I'm sure a bunch of you guys, if you are bariatric peeps like me, you are always cold, and I am always cold. So, let me start with my stats, just in case anybody is new here. I am Dory. I am 47 years old, 5'4" tall. And on September 12th of 2016, I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy weight loss surgery with Dr. Darren Tischler at Hartford Hospital in Hartford, Connecticut. My starting weight, my highest recorded weight, I should say, was 350 pounds. My surgery weight was 300.5. My lowest was 156.3. And I have been fluctuating between 162 and 168. I was 168 this morning. And I blame my mental health for that and my stress. So let's get right into it. So, as you guys know, the last time I spoke to many of you, I was making plans for my niece, who I've been fostering for 7 months, to go to a new foster home because I was unable to care for her any longer here with my 4 other children and my husband. That happened yesterday. She went to her new foster home. Now, leading up to all of this, we had a foster care review meeting, which my brother, who is her father, and his ex-girlfriend, the mother of this child, who is 12, they both attended the meeting. And basically, it's just a time every 6 months that the foster family, which was me, gets together, and there's attorneys and everything, and they kind of see what the next course of action was. And in her case, the next course of action was for her mother to be stripped of her parental rights and for guardianship to be given to me. As the process went on, I discovered that my mental health was struggling a lot with keeping her and trying to juggle my whole entire family and life. And so I got a lot of advice, and I had to make the very difficult decision that I could no longer do it. And so for my family and for my own mental health, I had to go ahead and let her go. At the meeting, it was kind of like a circus. My brother was there, and he's been sober for a couple of months, and her mom was there, and I'm not sure if she was sober, but I can tell you she was very angry. She was told multiple times that she needed to stop interrupting me and the lawyers and everyone else. She was told that she would be removed if she did not stop. After I left, I had to leave actually a little bit early to go get the kids from school. And my brother informed me that she was actually removed from the meeting shortly after I left because she would not stop her antics. And so it just was told in the meeting. I let everybody know verbally, and my her mom, my niece's mom, for the first time, that she would be leaving Monday, which was yesterday, on March 9th. And so they all understood. It was through a lot of tears and a lot of heartache that we made this decision, and it was through a lot of tears that I just conveyed the message at that meeting, and the same message I have been always saying, which is she has gone through a lot of trauma, and I know that all of the things that she does in reaction to that trauma is not her fault. But I also recognize when I cannot do anymore. I recognized when I was extremely depressed. I had thoughts that I would rather sit up in my room and get away from everybody. And I also had thoughts even though it was just for a brief time, but I had thoughts that maybe I am better off not on this earth. And so, for that reason, I know enough about myself and about life to know that those are not healthy thoughts, and that if I don't do anything about it now, I'm going to suffer worse in the future, and my children will suffer as well. And so, as much as I was nervous about yesterday coming and her leaving, I am at peace with our decision. We also tried in the midst of everything to get a couple of people from our church that may have been interested in fostering her. That way she would still be coming to church, she would still have a Christian household, and she would still have boundaries and rules, and we would see her a lot. But as we went through the last couple weeks, the two couples that I had in mind had gotten a lot of advice as well, and decided that it was not in their best interest to foster her either. And so we still hold out hope, and we know that God is God, and we know that God is bigger than what we could ever imagine. And so we know that wherever God wants her to be, for whatever reason, whether she's at this house now, this foster family now, to grow, mature, become more refined in her character, for whatever reason, that is where God has put her. She was told last Thursday that Monday would be her last day here. She was very upset, but she took solace in the fact that we would always be in her life, and we were not giving her up in that respect. We were going to continue to do things with her, and in May, I am still going to throw her a birthday party, which she's never had her whole entire life, and so I am going to do something great. And so that helped her, and then Friday evening, she went to go see her mom for her bi-weekly visit. And then Friday night through Sunday afternoon, she was at her best friend's house, which actually helped a lot with, I think, her emotional well-being, as far as knowing that she was leaving yesterday. So yesterday came, she went to school. She was still teary-eyed, which is absolutely to be expected. We just cuddled a lot, and I held her, and I told her it was going to be okay, and that I believed in her, and that I loved her, and that we would always be here. And so she left about 4:30, 4:45 yesterday. As soon as she left very emotional. She left very screaming and crying and carrying on, which is to be expected, but it was in front of my 4 other children. So I had my husband, thankfully, and thank God that he was off yesterday, so he was here throughout the whole time. And he brought them upstairs to kind of get away from all the commotion. So, of course, they were crying and they were upset. But when she left, we knew that it was just time to kind of get our family back together. So I ended up getting like Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's for the 4 kids. My husband had some chicken. I had a couple of bites. My stomach was really upset. Couldn't really eat anything. And so I just really wanted them to have something that brought them joy. And that was it. So we had that for dinner, and then I proceeded to start changing the rooms around. And so I have 4 kids and I have 4 bedrooms, but one of the bedrooms is just used kind of as an office kind of area. And my cats like it in there. And so Emily was across the hall from my husband and I, and that's the bedroom I'm in now, is my husband. So across the hall, Emily was there. And then down the hall, there's like a double room. And so I had a bunk bed. Oh, excuse me. Reliving this is just making me so much more tired. And so I had my 2 daughters in bunk beds. My son was in one bed, and then my other 11-year-old daughter was on the other side of the room. It's kind of like a sectioned off room, but it's like double the size of a normal room. And so it's not like they played in there. They're just really sleeping there or whatever. And so that was fine. And so I moved my two youngest kids, 5 and 8, into Emily's old room. So when she left, I just took everything out. I packed her stuff, and I actually boxed up a bunch of stuff that she didn't need right now, and I have it here for her. And sorry. Um, And so I just washed some walls down, and I disinfected, and I washed windows, and I just ended up getting the two beds. They're set up for the two youngest kids, and that was fantastic. And they slept in there last night. And then my other two kids, ages 10 and 11, my oldest two girls are sleeping on the bunk bed, and I have half of the room done, and the other half, because it's like a double room, is like a lot of trash and toys all over the floor, and a bed that's going to go on the other side. So we're going to always have an extra bed for like if a friend sleeps over. And so I did that, and today I moved like bureaus and clothes and just so much stuff. And then I have the fourth bedroom that is like the office kind of area in downstairs on the first floor to get done, and it just freed up a lot of space. And I feel like I'm kind of getting a head start on spring cleaning. And so about a half an hour after Emily left, she called me, and she was distraught and upset and crying and hyperventilating and wanted me to come get her. She said the place was dirty and disgusting, and she didn't like it, and it was just horrible. I had her on speakerphone because we have a hands-free law here now into effect, and so I have my phone on my dashboard in a holder. And the kids, three out of the 4 kids were in the car with me, the 3 youngest, and so I didn't want them to. Sorry, I didn't want them to. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm not even sleeping at night. I'll get into that after, but so I didn't want them to be kind of tainted by what she was sharing, and so I told her to call my husband at home, and so he spoke to her. I got home. He ended up calling at night because he told her that he would call the foster mom there. And so he did. He called at night, and he spoke to the foster mom, and she said that Emily had started, was doing fine, and that she was hungry, and the woman was making her a steak at this point. It was probably like, I would say 8 o'clock at night. And so that was good. And so I went to bed, but I have not slept because of this decision in 2 weeks. I know that that's also a problem with my weight and why I'm not able to lose the weight. I'm just tired. I'm tired all the time. I'm not sleeping at night. I'm worried. All these things go through my mind. I'm tossing and turning. I have a Fitbit Flex 2, and it manages my sleep and kind of tells me how many times I was awake or how many times I was restless. And normally I'm awake like not normally. During this time span, I've been awake between 2 and 4 times a night, and restless between 14 and 23 times a night. And I also, on my left side, I'm not sure why, but my sciatic nerve must be out of place. I don't even know what to do to get it out. I've stretched. But basically, I cannot sleep on my right-hand side. On my left side. I can sleep on my right side and on my stomach, but I can't sleep on my left side, which just throws everything else out of commission. So, so that was last night. I got up today, and there is peace in my household again. Amen. Praise Jesus. There is peace in my home once again. The kids got off to school. Emily, of course, still goes to my daughter's school, and so they see each other every day. So my daughter, I told her that she was going to see her again, and I just warned her, Emily is probably at a place where there's not going to be a lot of boundaries, a lot of talk about Jesus, and all these things. So she's going to kind of be in a different character today, and I kind of just warned her. And so fast forward to about, I don't know, I want to say 10 o'clock, I get a call from the kids' school, and it is Emily. And of course, I don't know that she's supposed to contact me because I no longer can advocate for her per the Department of Children and Families. and her social worker. And so she schmoozed her way to her guidance counselor and convinced her guidance counselor that she had to call me to update me on how her living situation is. And so this is what I heard from Emily today. Yesterday, she was all distraught. Today, she said that there is one other girl that arrived yesterday as well. She is 13 years old, so that's 1 year older than Emily. She is really nice. They have backgrounds of abuse and stuff the same, so they were sharing their stories. They share a room together. The woman that is there is named Wendy. They have 2 dogs. And there is a gentleman that lives there, but she assured me he is homosexual, so I don't have to worry about him pulling the moves on her, is what she said. And so he lives there as well as a roommate, I believe. Um, and she said that basically there are no rules except to be kind and respectful. And if the girls need anything, they are to write it down on a sticky note and put it on the refrigerator. And basically, the woman works a full-time job and they will see her in the early morning, but Emily doesn't eat breakfast there or something, so she'll just eat breakfast at school, I guess, which is totally different than how I had it here. And basically after school, she has 2 hours to wait before her social worker comes to pick her up and brings her to the home. And I guess the foster mom, Wendy, will be making dinner, and then they just do whatever they want to do, and there's no boundaries and no rules. And so that's probably the hardest part of this whole thing, is knowing that she is 12 and a half years old and she's seen enough of trauma to last, a whole army of people. And she is not, it's not a family atmosphere. When she was telling me at the same time as she was relating it to her guidance counselor, I asked her if it was a family atmosphere there, and she said, oh no, not at all. There's no family orientation thing of nothing. She is basically raising herself at this foster home. But she is on a night-to-night basis at this foster home, which means if the woman doesn't like her, or if she feels like she's not fitting into the way she has her house or whatever, she can opt to not keep her anymore, and she would have to go to a different foster home. Let's hope that doesn't happen. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm still praying every day that God will open up another situation for a couple from our church to take her. I'm faithful that God has her there for whatever reason. I'm faithful that God has us here for whatever reason. And I know that everything is going to be okay. Going forward, we are going to see about maybe taking her maybe once a month. I also have asked her social worker if I can dismiss her from school for lunch, take her out to lunch, and then bring her back to school, if that would be something I could do. And I believe I can, and so maybe I'll do that once a month. We'll have a little date, get caught up. I have to be honest, I am extremely nervous for her. I am extremely nervous for boundaries that she does not have. I'm extremely nervous of her getting involved with boys because there are no rules. I'm nervous about the longer she's away from us and how she's going to affect my other children by her behavior, is definitely something I am worried about. For now, I'm just going to pray about it and take it to God, because there's really no other thing I can do. If I had her come back here, it would be me who would suffer, and in turn the rest of them suffer. I really hold this household in the palm of my hands. I do everything to ensure that everybody has a good life, and I do take very good care of my family. So that is what I'm thinking going forward. I know going forward for us, we are planning on buying a house hopefully this year. My husband will be going on a mission July 1st. Because of the coronavirus, I believe he will just stay here for that mission. But in any event, that is going to be something that we have on the horizon. So that's really it. I just really wanted to come on and let you guys know I definitely am not where I need to be physically or mentally yet. I'm definitely getting there. I know one thing that has helped me, and it's not a transfer addiction because I can not have it and have it, it doesn't matter. But I discovered that I really like Moscato wine. Pink Moscato. Somebody told me yesterday there is a Roscato that I'm going to try at some point. But I've been having, they come in just one, like little tiny wine bottles. I got it at a baby shower at my daughter-in-law's baby shower. I won it and it was pink Moscato. And that's how I found out that I really like wine. And so at night before bed, I have one of those little bottles of wine. When I went to the marriage retreat, I had two on Saturday night or whatever. It helps me sleep. And so basically I've been having that, but with that I have a big bag of popcorn. So that I have to stop. I did not have popcorn last night, although I wanted it so bad. And basically I take chocolate chips, white chocolate chips, and I put some on the bottom, and then I pour the, you know, once it's out of the microwave, I pour the whole bag on top and then throw some more white chocolate chips on top, maybe some mini M&Ms, and I throw it in there, and it's like this whole deliciousness. But I need to not have that. And so yeah, and so I've been having that, and I've been eating more lately than I normally would, and I'm snacking a lot. And I know that that's from just being stressed. Like, hello, my life is stressful. And so I'm hoping that over, like, once I get through this week and then we have the weekend, next week should be back to normal, hopefully. And so that's what I'm hoping gets back on track, is my weight and my life and my sleep, and that everything is getting put back together as far as things in my house and getting cleaned and organized. So I'll put a couple pictures down right after this to show you the rooms and the progress that I have made on the 2 kid rooms. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.